Good evening, everybody. This is Tom. I just wanted to fast track this idea so that you understand money. These videos are long and drawn out and boring. I just want to throw it at you real quick so you know what happens when it comes to money. Using the 110 scale, okay, 110, 1 over 10 in math. 110 scale is what they use. What the bank does is they're required to have 10% of the amount that they actually give you. So if you go in and you get a $100,000 loan, they're only risking 10 grand. And the kickers is most of the time they want 10 or 20% down. So there's absolutely no risk to them to loan you basically air. They're basically air, what's just air they're loaning to you. They make numbers in a computer and they hand it over to you. And then they also make it seem like if you don't pay it back, it's the end of the world. It's detrimental. So then on top of that, they take it and they use an exponential system, and I can't remember what it is, but it's AE to RT. It's somebody help me out. Some sort of natural logarithm figured into a formula up in the exponents. Anybody know? Everybody should basically know what an exponent is. Something to the something power, like in your engineering notation. So like 10 to the second power is 10 times 10. It's 100. 10 to the third power is 10 times 10 times 10, which is 10 times 10 is 100. 100 times 10 is 1,000. So as you just that exponential, it makes the amount go way up, like skyrockets quick. So when you end up borrowing 100 grand, you end up paying back like I forget the amount, like 10 times as much or something like that. And not only are you doing all the work and taking all the risks, the bank's just collecting money that they never had. So they're just getting really, really rich and exploiting you. And at the same time, the same people are we've always thought about the economy is going up and down. They're just doing that. The economy is not controlling the prices. They're just men that are changing those numbers around based on what they're seeing and what they want the public to do. Like in 2008, they planned for that crash, and they did it just to take money, just to push, just to kick us down. Just the simple idea. Once you understand this, then you realize that there should be no. There might be poverty in the world a little bit, but there shouldn't be like these drastic things in Africa with just massive exploitation, when all you have to do is take our monetary system and just clone it over there. And then if you were then you were smart, you could change the 110 scale around, and you could do something like where you could do a 60% return payment, meaning you would borrow 100 grand, you only have to pay back 60 grand of it because it's all profit anyways, and then you tack a little interest on it to make it right up to the same amount that you borrowed. Then you just throw these loans on, you just make these loans easy so people can buy stuff. I mean, there's an art to it, so you'd have to balance it in between that, and that can be done. But it's still silly. I mean, we'll do it at first if we need to, but I'd like to see it. I'd like to see it. I'd like to see it without money, because it's just a hassle, paperwork, and if everybody just learned to just we had abundance, you just take what you want to store and just have it available or something like that. I know it's hard for people to accept the fact that everybody wants what their neighbors got. So the idea of it's too tough for you to understand. It's because you live with it your whole life. You can't possibly fathom the idea of you need to work to get food and stuff. It's actually a very exploitive system, but if it was used correctly, it could be very lucrative and also very prosperous, where a certain amount is stored. And I've always said, like, taxes are we shouldn't have to pay. I think of it as a reaction when they're taken away from the core, so that the reaction is not big. Shouldn't tax us on anything. All of the taxes could come out of that residual system, that 110 scale, and then all your necessary things that nobody wants to deal with, that nobody owns, can be paid out of that interest earned on the loans, or not the interest, but the 110 scale, the exponential system that jacks the money way up. And it's constantly watering the money down. And then they tell us it's inflation. And inflation is just bullshit. I mean, they control the prices and they just dump the money in. And 90% of it goes right back to them, and then they just turn it into land and gold and advanced technology. And they just do stuff like that all the time. And, the fact that any country has overwhelming poverty is just pure bad stewardship. We could easily take our system here and clone it, take it right over to Africa, drop it on them, and then just provide them with provide that kind of money. Do it in India too, but the elitists aren't thinking like that. They're thinking more for themselves alone, and they're not using their intelligence. All you got to do is just think about it. And then I mean, you could knock down the suffering down to nothing or very minimal. I mean, there's always probably going to be people that don't want to do anything at all, but most people don't want to work because it's frustrating. Like they give up and there's no jobs and they lie to us. They lie to us about the unemployment rate all the time. So I just want to throw that out to you because this video is boring, and I know you women are ditzy and a little too ditzy for your own good. That booty ain't gonna get you forever. That's just gonna fade, and you ain't got no money. So if you don't figure it out, and you don't figure it out quick, you're just a bunch of dumb hoes walking around, with your emotions got you all over the place. The beauty fades, but ignorance is forever. I shouldn't say ignorance, maybe crazy is forever, but girls need to get your head out of your ass, get your fucking hoo-ha dried, and go to school and learn some shit. If you can't afford school, you go on the internet instead of buying stupid clothes and wasting men's time. Money. It's just It's just math. That's all it is. It's just math they hand out to you and they tell you it's worth something. Hope that helps you out. These videos are long and boring and I can't stand them either. Have a good night.